Well, it was a night of great victory and triumph if you worked on Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 last night took home the awards, more awards than any other game at the Game Awards last night. Also, by the way, here you can bring this up, Jonathan, if we can get this in there. That's me. Of course, Dennis was with me as well. Dennis N was there. We ended up scoring like a private box at the Game Awards. Had a great time. By the way, they brought out the orchestra to perform the song from one of the Final Fantasy games, and they announced Lauren Allred came out. You may not recognize her name, but she's actually the vocalist who sings Never Enough in The Greatest Showman. And then she was a big hit on Britain's Got Talent. Anyway, she's one of my favorite singers in the world, so I had no idea she was going to be there. She came out, performed, absolutely fun. And a lot of interesting people came out on stage at the awards last night. Jordan Peele came out. Matthew McConaughey came out. Anthony Mackie came out. Simu Liu, Shang-Chi came out. Timothée Chalamet came out. He actually ended up being doing the presenting for Game of the Year. But, of course, the big thing is the Game Awards. Baldur's Gate 3, which I contend may be the greatest video game ever made. It actually won the two top prizes. The one prize it took was Player's Voice. That is the 100% voted on by fans. So fans voted on it. The nominees were Legends of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man 2, Genshin Impact, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, and of course Baldur's Gate 3. And Baldur's Gate 3 won the Player's Choice. And then, of course, Baldur's Gate 3 also took home the big award of the night, which was Game of the Year. It was nominated against Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legends of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And so it took both the fan-voted award and the overall Game of the Year award. A couple of interesting notes. Alan Wake 3 was another big winner on the evening. It won things like Best Game Direction. I think it also won Best Narrative. So it won a couple of the big awards. Baldur's Gate 3 took home 6 awards, including Best Performance by, I forget the actor's name, but he's the guy who does the voice of the vampire Asterion in it. So that was kind of a no-brainer, although he was nominated against Idris Elba. But he won, so it overall won 6. Another interesting note, though, Spider-Man 2, shut out. Nominated in a bunch of categories, didn't actually end up taking home any. Super Mario Bros. Wonder won Family Game of the Year. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom took home 1 or 2 awards as well. Overall, it was just a really fun night. I got to make my annual commentary, though, on the Game Awards. It really shouldn't be called the Game Awards because, like, I'm not exaggerating, about 5% of the 3-hour show was awards. The other 95% were commercials. It was just trailers. And there's nothing wrong with that. It got a lot of people excited. I just think you should probably rename the event to what it is. Call it the Game Preview Celebration Night.
Plus awards.
Plus a couple of awards. You know, put that in there. But I got to say, for being there live, for a 3-hour show, it just moved. It felt very quick. The pacing of it was really great. You disagree?
I was a little, I'm not a fan of long speeches or whatever.
There weren't many long speeches.
But I was turned off by that a little bit when, like, the guys didn't even get, like, 15 seconds and they would start playing music. Especially when there's people up there that was really proud to win and that had tears in their eyes. They're just trying to say something nice, and that music starts playing over what
they got to get to the new commercials, Ray. They got more trailers to play.
But here's the thing. There's going to be people that make long speeches, and there's going to be people that go up and just say, hey, thanks, everyone, for supporting the game. Those will even out. I just hated how they just 20 seconds, 15 seconds. They couldn't even get that. They couldn't even say, thank you, Mom,
forget that.
The music playing.
Forget that. You know what's worse than that? The vast majority of the awards, the winners never got to come up and say anything. Because what they would do is, and I hate that they do this. They
sidebar it.
Yeah. They play 20 minutes of trailers. Then it comes back to the show host. He's like, all right, it's time to give out some more awards. In the category of this, the nominees were this, and this, and the winner was this. The next category, like literally in about 65 seconds, they blew through 4 categories. Just here's the nominees, not even putting up pictures of the nominees or anything, just under the category of best family game. Nominees are blah, 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 and the winner was blah, blah, blah. Under the category of this, blah, blah, blah. And they did that for like most of the categories. And it's called, it's just, you call it the Game Awards, right? So that's supposed to be the focus of the evening is the awards, but they literally treat the awards as an absolute secondary thought so they could play more trailers. And listen, to its credit, the audience and a lot of the people who are tuning in to see the previews for the new games coming. Right. And that's very exciting for a lot of people. And I'll give them credit for this too. I felt like this year, I might be wrong, but I felt like this year they gave a little bit more time to the awards. Like instead of 5%, they might have given it 6% of their show.
They're still trying to find their footing.
So they're just finding their footing. It's getting a little bit there, but I got to admit, the show had great pace. They kept the whole thing moving pretty well.
So you're saying it didn't feel 3 hours long.
It felt faster being there in person, and normally it's the opposite. But being there in person, it felt faster.
Because to be honest, I switched it off halfway through. It was going too long, at least for my attention span. I did go back and watch like other people's videos of what else dropped after I stopped watching. But yeah, it was still a little too long for me in that way, which is weird because I say, hey, let them speak, which ends up being the boring part. But I just think it was more of like an ethics, like respect, like what I feel like people deserve. If you win an award, you deserve to be able to thank the people that helped you, you know what I mean? And not get cut off by music. Like give them at least 10 more seconds time before you start playing music. It seemed a little off-putting to me, like kind of a little disrespectful. I mean, especially for the ones
like
that
I said,
went up there.
the people who got 10 seconds got 10 more seconds than most of the winners last night.
That's just me though.
But I'll also say this. Last night, I think you also saw the formula for what makes a good video game trailer. I feel like everybody got the same notes on the formula because a lot of the trailers just felt like they were all blurred into one. Like 9 out of every 10 trailers, and there were some great trailers, don't get me wrong, but about 9 out of every 10 trailers was show epic sweeping large landscape shot, show shot of characters in game running across said landscape, hard cut to shot of characters hack slash, put up superimposed title of In a World, show another wide scoping, Pandora view of what's going on in the world, right? I'd say 8 out of every 10 trailers last night kind of felt the same. And there are some big exceptions to that. But this one game company, they're introducing this game, and I cannot remember the name of it. Guys in the live chat, help me out if you remember the name of it. But they came out. It's the same company that makes No Man's Sky. And they announced
that game looks amazing.
The open world game?
Yeah, where they're like, it's almost like a Dungeons and Dragons.
Here's what I love about it. In all these open world games, you get, like, say World of Warcraft, just as an example, right? Okay, yeah, you've got the world, but there's like 50 different servers. And if you're on a different server than your buddy, you can both be in the same town, but you're not actually in the same town. This game...
Is it called Light No Fire?
Yes.
Yes. It's one world. One giant open world, and everybody's playing on that same world. I love the concept of it.
They call it like a different Earth, and it's up to you to discover what's on that planet. So it's like you're going in with your buddies, and you're doing things that all of you guys are doing for the first time, like uncovering things, and that game looks so good.
I'm so intrigued by it.
And you know what? We lost E3 a couple of years back, right? How long has E3 been gone? I am glad we do have something like this, where we do have like a
showcase.
A showcase where a lot of people, because I was in watching it on YouTube, and there's 800K people in that chat room. You know what I mean? So there was eyes on these products. I'm glad we do have something like this.
Yeah, and of course you got the new Jordan Peele project coming out. That
I didn't see that one. What was that?
It was called Overdose, and it's made by the guy who made Solid Gear.
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Kojima.
So he's making it with him. Again, there were some really cool things, but it's just that I felt like 80% of the trailers just felt like the same trailer over and over and over again. But overall, I had a really fun time. And again, Baldur's Gate 3, big winner of the night, both the game of the year and the fan voted best game of the year. I believe it may be the best video game ever made. So the question, of course, then starts to become, will they start talking about adaptation? By the way, I should throw out, I think, I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, I may very well be wrong about this, but I think this was the first year that they had the category Best Adaptation. So Twisted Metal was nominated, like adaptation to a TV show or movie, Twisted Metal, Mario Brothers, but everybody knew who was going to win. Last of Us won Best Adaptation, but I think that can become a legitimate thing going on. Anthony Mackie came out to announce that Twisted Metal is going to get a second season.
Yeah.
A lot of good things, but guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Quip. Good health starts with good habits, and Quip makes forming good dental habits easy by delivering all of the oral care essentials that you need to care for your mouth. I've already told you guys about their incredible toothbrush that is now my favorite toothbrush I've ever owned, and their mints and gum are amazing. But now I want to tell you about their water flosser. It hits all the right spots with gentle or deep cleaning pressure at the touch of a button. And don't worry about recharging. The cordless rechargeable battery lasts up to 8 weeks with daily use, no bulky charger or dock or tangled cords. It blasts away up to 99.9% of plaque and popcorn from treated areas with precision thanks to the 360-degree rotating magnetic floss tip that snaps right into place. It's easy to control water flow that leaves you feeling squeaky clean. And the sleek and slim design, it keeps your countertops as clean as your teeth. So guys, if you go to getquip.com/Campea right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/Campea. Spelt GETQUIP.com/Campea. Quip, the good habits company. Chris, Baldur's Gate, big winner of the night. I couldn't be more thrilled. I was so excited when it won. Mm-hmm. In this new era, we're making video game adaptations. We hear good things about Twisted Metal. I still haven't seen it. You did, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
The Mario Brothers, the second biggest box office film of the year. Last of Us, best show on television in the last few years. In a world and a landscape now where adaptations are more and more feasible than ever, and with Baldur's Gate winning all the awards that it's winning, could we get a Baldur's Gate movie, considering that Dungeons and Dragons, and Baldur's Gate is basically Dungeons and Dragons, considering Dungeons and Dragons just bombed at the box office, despite the fact that it was awesome. Mm-hmm. Do you think one of the studios might step up and take a crack at doing a Baldur's Gate movie?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of the same rise we saw with comic IP, right? For a while, graphic novels were the fastest grossing form of entertainment, and that's gotten just inked out by video games in the last few recent years. Video games being the most high-selling, high-grossing entertainment kind of thing that you can have right now. There's a reason why people want this IP, because it already is so cinematic. It's already so beautifully done. The cutscenes in these are amazing. The motion capture, the performance capture work is some of the best acting that you can see out there. Neil Newborn is who won, and I actually, I actually show people his work from Resident Evil: The Village, because you can watch his mocap performance before they rendered it online, and he's phenomenal. He's so great. So I definitely think there's potential for that, and I think that's why these properties keep getting bought up. That all being said, you may have noticed too, there were a lot of people striking outside of the Video Game Awards because these motion capture artists are paid so poorly. So there's also that kind of thing that we have to come to terms with too, of this is amazing entertainment. We really like it. We love how realistic it is. The combat feels so lived in. I love this game so much because I can play as this character and I experience agency through them, right? Performance capture video game stuff is the most connected you're ever going to be to your audience, which is amazing. We as an audience also have to then contend with, well, if we really appreciate that work, one, do we want to see it in our TV and film? And two, do we want to give the original performers their flowers? And I think we should.
I got to say, I didn't see any protesters outside.
Oh, okay. It was posted all online.
Yeah. Again, it's a Peacock Theater is a very large place. So just because where I went in the door, that doesn't mean they weren't there.
They're mostly right now just trying to make it so non-union actors also stop agreeing to do these non-union contracts. So for SAG actors, it's like, yeah, we don't do those. That's not allowed. But they're trying to now get non-union actors as well to not do it because they're getting taken advantage of.
All right, guys. With that down, Again, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, play Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's the best game I've ever played. So good. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.